from it. So next up, we have Abhishek, who is a software engineer at hello, am I audible, guys?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so you can find him in a lot of like as an organizer to in a lot of communities, and as I found him at one of the hackathons that I attended, so you can find him at all places, literally meetups, be it hackathons, be it anywhere. So he'll talk about file operation using Pathlib. So Abhishek, if you can just continue.
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to give a talk here. I would like to just share my screen quickly. Okay. I hope this is visible. Can you just like confirm it, Smriti, whether my screen is visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So thank you everyone. So I will like to give a very small preface what this talk gonna be all about. So I mean I'm gonna talk about Pathlib library basically, which is actually used for file operations and also for path manipulation and all stuff. So traditionally people use OS module, okay, but Pathlib is better than OS. I mean, of course, there are a little bit trade-offs when you also use Pathlib, but I'll show you like I'll take a few examples to show how Pathlib is better than OS, and little bit of file operations. I mean, it's gonna be a very basic or beginner talks. Okay, so even if you are starting with the Python, like no worries. I mean, that's why I'm keeping these things very small. So before that, I would just like to introduce myself. I've been asked whether you already did a great introduction. So my name is Abhishek, and I work as a software engineer in Sama Research Lab, which is in Chennai right now. And I mostly work in backend and sometimes infrastructure and DevOps, depending on the work I get. And if you want to connect over me, you can connect over a LinkedIn with Stalwart Coder username, and same goes for a Twitter. So I mean. So usually, a lot of people. I mean, the Python is a very generic language nowadays. Like AIML did create a very buzz about it, but apart from AIML and data science stuff, a lot of people use it for automation, also for file operations. So, for example, if you have some patterns and then you write a code for it, and Python is literally very easy when it comes to that, like, very handy. So I'm going to take few examples, including OS library, basically the module, and then I'm going to compare it with the pathlib. So I'll say import OS, and then the first example is how you actually print your current working directory, right? I'll just say over os.get wd, and so it will give you the current directory. So currently I'm using Google Code Lab, which is like Jupyter Notebook hosted on some containers or a Google Cloud probably. So if you want to see what are the different folders here, you can have a look here. So this is the sample data, okay, and the content is basically a parent folder of the sample data. So don't worry about that. So this is how we get a current working directory, right, in OS. And if I have to check what is the type of this.
Abhishek, sorry to interrupt you. Can you just zoom in a little?
Is this fine?
More.
More, okay. What about this now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry about that. I should have considered that. Sorry. So if you check the type of this particular result of the function, so it says a string. Okay, so I'll tell you where pathlib actually comes very handy. And if I have to use the pathlib, I'll say from pathlib import path, and I'll say basically you have to just pass the name of so whatever operation you want to perform, you have to pass it to a path class, okay, and it has all those functions and then all those constructor which we call magic methods, which will do all the work. So right now in pathlib, if you have to find the current directory, you will just say path.twd, and then it will give you the current paths. So if you see here, the major difference is in os.get current working directory, you are getting a string as a return type, but in path.cwd, you are getting an object, which is a POSIX path. So POSIX path is nothing but your, how do I say it? It's like, so it's a OS implementation that is standard that all the operating system follows here. So it gives you a written format in that particular thing. So I mean, if you print it, for example, let me just do it right now. So if you just print it, the format will be return only. If I say print string and say here is the directory, okay. So if you see, this comes as a string itself, okay, but then the actual thing is it's an object. So the advantage of doing this thing is you can actually use that object to perform operations rather than all these strings, right? So you can associate different methods which is already available in the Python library, and then you can do it. I'll show you as I move forward. So I already shown you what is the type of this, which is a class, and if you have to check what is the type of this, uh, I mean, it's not really required. The print is not required. Next, what is wrong here? Okay. So it says pathlib.posixpath as I shown you. So this is the object. Okay. So now if you have to check the current, sorry, if a directory exists or not, what you do in OS library is basically you say, hey, os.path dot exist. Here you go, and then you pass any library name or any folder name. So let's say I'm gonna do readme.md. I need to check that whether it exists or not. I'll say sample data, and then readme dot. So it will return, if it exists, it will say true or else false. But see how easy it is when you use path. I hope I'm not going too fast, and like my audio is pretty audible. If anything goes wrong, please let me know. I'll just try to minimize my speed. Okay, so taking another example, if you have to check whether another path exists or not, let's say Python. So it will say false because it doesn't exist here. Okay. Now, if I have to do the same thing here, so while using pathlib, we simply pass the path as a string to a path class, which gives us a POSIX path object that we already saw. So to test whether the POSIX path instance is existing in the file system, we just call its method exist. So I'll show you how to do that. So you'll say path, and then you will pass the string here. I'll just copy the same path. Okay. And I'll say dot exist. It will say true. And then same if I say for this path, let me just copy it again. And I'll say Python, it will say false. Okay, so I mean, so if you see it, this is pretty much easy as compared to using os.path that exists. You directly pass the string, okay, the folder name or file name, and then you just check it here. So, I mean, this is one example. This is not the only reason to use pathlib, okay? Believe me, there are more examples. And I'll also tell you, I mean, a few trade-offs that I initially spoke about, like which is not really there in the pathlib, but it would be a good feature to have, which is already there in OS. Okay. So this was about checking the file. Okay. And if you, the main difference here it is, if you have to use readme file, for example, as a file object, you can easily do it with the path. Whereas in your OS one, you have to basically create an object and do it using open method, the context manager. Okay. So the real like where pathlib shines is this thing. Let's say I have a readme file here, which is equal to, let me just copy this thing. So what it will do is it will just create one object of readme file, and then I can literally perform operations here. So you can reuse it. So this is the object. So whatever operations you want to perform over a single file, you can just use it as an object. So you don't have to, in OS thing, you have to actually store it a file in a string and then do it. And then again, if you have to do a file operation, you will convert into a file again and then perform the operation. Whereas this is a complete object, you perform your operations here. So now I'll show you how you can create a directory, again using first OS OS module, dir, and then you pass it, let's say Python should just reload it. So here we go. We created a directory called Python. Okay, and let me check again. Let me just rerun this command and see now what happens here. So what it says, hey, file already exists, right? Okay, and like this is error. So for this reason, for example, you are performing an operation where you have given a task of creating a new file. Okay, what if the file already exists? You're gonna put if condition, right? You will say, hey, if exist method, we're gonna use the same. We're gonna use the same thing here. If this exists, if Python exists, then create the directory, or else don't create it. If the directory is already there, you're gonna get this error, right? Now let me show you how handy pathlib comes here. Okay, so I'll also try to create Python directory using pathlib. Let me just do it. I'll say path. Sorry, path Python and dot. Now again, I like this method doing like, so it's in terms of object and classes, classes and object. You create a object of this particular file or folder and then perform operations in the sense basically calling methods. So I like this way of creating files better than doing os dot path dot and all this stuff. So if you do this thing here, it will also give you an error, but I'll tell you. So it also gives the same error like, hey, file already exists. But pathlib got a one more feature, a very smart sense of using or creating a file or folders. So you can basically pass a flag which is called as exist. Okay. So which is called as exist underscore underscore okay. And if you say it as a true, what basically it will do is, so basically mkdir, which is make directory except the flag exists. Okay, when it is set to true, the file exist error is also automatically ignored. Okay, whereas in OS1 we have to use otherwise the if conditions, right? So that's the main difference. So if you do it again, it will see no. Okay, one second. Oh, yeah, so error did not come in, right? And if I just remove it, I'll see the error. So you don't need an extra if condition. So the why I like pathlib is it's very clear and very clean way to create files and do perform the operations. And also one more thing. Coming to next example, while creating a different multi-level depth directory in OS, what exactly you do is you have to do something like this. You say, so make directory will not work here again. There's a different function or method you call is make dirs. So you'll say os dot make dirs, and then here you'll pass the path. the entire path of that level. Okay, so you have to do it like os.path.join, and I'll say let me say test dir. Then the second level is as L1, okay, level 1, level underscore 1, and then I'll say level underscore 2, okay, and then that. So I executed here. Okay, if you see here, there's a test dir, and then you go level 1 and then level 2. That is like nested thing. Okay, so this is the thing. So it does the job for sure. However, we have to always remember to use a different function, right? You have a two function here. You use os.path.join, and then you say, hey, you have to use different method which is called as make dirs to create a multi depth or multi level directory, wherein you don't have to use mkdir. It just works for single directory. So let's see how pathlib comes handy here. Okay, so when I say different method, I'm talking about this thing. I'm not talking about this thing. I'm talking about this thing. Okay, so if I use path, I can actually do it like I'll pass the same thing. Okay. Let me just change the name to something else. That's dir underscore 2. And then I'll just pass one more parameter, which is so if you notice here, we are using the same method which we used here as well. So you don't have to use multiple, I mean, different method to create multiple files. Sorry, multi-level folder or directory. And then you just say, hey, there's a flag called or the parameter called parent, and then you say that is equal to true, and then you execute it. Unexpected keyword parent. Okay, it should be parents. Okay, so it got executed. Let's see whether it's reflecting here. See here. So we got level 1 and level 2. Okay, so see, this is very clean. Okay, you don't have to even remember multiple methods. You just give the path like a level that you want to create, and then just say parents is equal to true to that particular method. So this is also very clean. Okay, and if you want to show so another example I'm talking about, if you want to show the directory content, okay, so in OS how you usually do it is like you say os dot, I guess it's list dir, yeah, it's list dir, and then you give the folder name of which you want to see the content, right? I'll say this, and then if you notice here, it returns the list. Okay, it returns a list where whatever the content is there, readme.md, this file.json, 2 CSV files, sorry, 4 CSV files, and all those things. And it returns a list of those particular file names, or rather, I would say the content of that particular folder, right? Which is a list. So now, if we have to perform the same operation in pathlib, it has a little different syntax, but it's very clean, very easy to use. So I would just, for my convenience, I'll just copy the folder name, and then I'll say path, and then I'll here pass the directory name, and then another next method which is called iter dir, I guess. It should be iter dir, and you run it. So what it gives you is basically a generator object. Okay, what is that? So generator object is nothing but so instead of giving you the raw or the what do you say a default data types in terms of list, you can actually perform a operation on this iterator, or I would say the generator object. Okay, so if you want to get a list out of it, you can just directly do it as in the list of. So it will give you the exact object. Okay, and then the particular file. So now just imagine, okay, I'm giving you one example. Now you'll say, hey Abhishek, what are you talking about? I'm getting the list of files here. This is very easy for me. Why do I need a generator? So for small use cases where you actually just want to get the list of data, it's good. Okay, it's good. I'm not saying OS is not good, but imagine you have to figure out, you have to basically list out all the CSV files and perform some operation on all the files. Okay, what do you want to do? You want to get all the file names here, then do one for loop on the list and then perform the operation? No, right? So it's better to get a list of objects here and then perform direct file operation on this object, because this is nothing but an object, right? And you can directly perform file operation that you would do when usually you use with module, or with the open function. Okay, read write, I'm talking about that also. So this is the basic difference between this. And the one more example is, for example, if you want to search a file, okay, using wildcard pattern. Okay, so let's say you just want to get all the CSV files. Okay, so what you do without using Pathlib is there's a module called globe. Okay, it helps you do that. So we'll say from globe import globe, and then you will list all the CSV files. Okay, I'll tell you how you do it. You just go again and then you say os dot, I'll better copy it from, no, okay, os dot path dot join, and then you pass the list of, you pass the sample data folder name, sample data, and then you will say I need all the CSV files. So you will just provide the extension. I mean, this takes a lot of different parameters as well, so you can try that. Right now I'm just showing you how to do it only with CSV. So whatever CSV files are there, 1, 2, 3, 4 here we have inside of sample data, it will return all those things depending on whatever wildcard parameters you have provided. So OS by default doesn't support wildcard thing if you want a specific file to be searched or look for. Whereas in Pathlib has a really good option to do it. So I can directly do it like I mean, I'm doing a list. I'm converting the output so that you can see in a proper format, or else it will give you a generator object output. Okay, so I'll again do the same thing. I'll say path, and then I'll just pass this thing here. Okay, the folder name. And please do let me know if I exceed the time. I mean, I have set this particular lightning talk to be on 15 minutes. So then you directly have a function called globe. Okay, and where you pass the wildcard. So you'll say, hey, just give me the CSV files. So it will give you all the CSV files with this object. So you can directly again hand it to perform operations. Now I'll just quickly show you last example. I would say just to read and write operation with the file, how you can do it. I hope attendees are still there. Nobody ran away. If it's going too boring, let me know. I can stop it right now. So how you usually do the read and write of the particular file, you will say with open, you just pass on the file name, let's say readme. I want to do the readme thing. Readme. Okay, sorry. Readme.md, and then you print file.read, right? File.read. Okay, okay, I guess nobody's paying attention as well because that was there was a typo. So this is the content of readme.md file, which is here. Okay, so this is how you traditionally do it, right? Like you do with open file name as a file, and then you just print it. And same goes for writing as well. So you're gonna do the same thing. But the coolest way of doing the same thing is you create a path object for that particular file. So I would say here, f is equal to, let me just quickly copy the path, and I'll say path, and then I'll pass the parameters here, I mean the directory. Okay, and then I'll say, let me write it, sorry, f dot write, and this is meetup. So it basically returns you the content of sorry, the line number where you written all these things. So let me just print it again, whatever is there. I'll just run it here quickly and see. So whatever we wrote here, it just got overwritten. Okay. I mean, by default, there are parameters you have to basically provide, or else it will just overwrite the content. So if you have to append it, you have to give the parameters. And then same way, if you have to read the file, you can just say f dot read and then text. So it will return you the string which is there, okay, in the file. Uh, do we have like more time? I would like to just quickly speak like 2 more minutes and then like we can wrap up.
Yes, yes, Abhishek, you have.
Okay, so now if you want to find the metadata of the file in practice, basically it's very common when we would like to get some specific information about the file, right? So like, let me show you how you can do it, how you can extract the information or the statistics about the file using Pathlib. So I can directly do that with, if I do f.resolve, it should show me that. No. So f.resolve give me the object, and now I can just do f.stem, and it should. Okay, so it just, okay, so I am just doing a small operation. So just to get file details of the file name, I can just do f.stem, where I can just get the file name, and if I want an extension, I guess it's suffix f dot, yeah, and then you'll get the extension itself. I mean, there are a lot of operations you can perform it, and I said about stat. You can get the statistics of the file here. I mean, it again gives you the same object. So it gives you all the detail of that file, the different modes and then nlink, UID and all stuff. So this is the statistics when it was created and updated, last updated and all thing. Okay, so it again gives you uh, a object of OS stat result. So you can basically do statistics on all these things from here. If I want to get the size of the file, I'll say st underscore size. I guess this should work. It's not a function, it's an attribute. It's like, I guess it should be 19 byte. Yeah. So I mean, that's all I had for like this entire session. So basically, I would like to. I mean, I also got introduced with the Pathlib like a quite year ago. Okay, but and then we started using this Pathlib instead of OS. It gives you a lot of option. It's a very clean way of doing things. But yeah, there are few things which is not available in the Pathlib. For example, if you want to change the directory, current directory, you can actually do it os.chdr in the using the OS module, but it's not available in the Pathlib. So basically, if you want to change the directory, if you are performing some operation, you have to use OSCHR from the OS module and then perform the operations using uh, Pathlib. So yeah, thank you so much. So that's what I had today for my session. Thank you again. If anyone has any doubt, please let me know.
Abhishek, there is one. Uh, can you read or write CSV files to use
You
like
can.
F?
Yeah, so I mean, normal reading and writing, how you can do it using Open with Open that you do. anything. So sort of those operations are possible using Pathlib also. I mean, I shown you, right? You can directly write and read it from CSV or from any file. Can you share the collab file of OS also? Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. But I would, it's not really that good. This is some bullshit code I have written. Let me see if I can get a link out of it. I'll export it and I'll give it to you. So right now it's okay. Right now I have created it under my organization's Google account. I would fine. Karen, if you don't mind, can we? So we're gonna put this on GitHub, our GitHub repo, I guess. So I'll upload it there for sure. So post event, probably I can like ping you. Maybe it gives length of string. Okay, fine. Thanks everyone.